The default, the 16th of September 2024. If the judgment is final, what makes a person confident enough that it can be altered? If the one who made judgment a concept to give heed to, then it would be no reason to wonder that such decisions, which would be the bringers of good or evil in one's life, are unquestionable. Reason and intentionality show themselves off to be important in the case of an anonymous character. Do we even use the term anonymous in its correct manner when it is used when the character wants to hide their intentionality? It is used to identify even psychopaths. When a person is not known by their community, they are essentially in the shadow of either their actions, intentions, wealth, or their constrictions. When a person wants to remain anonymous, it is because when their actions are known to others, the person is identified by the actions they have done. The actor by his acting, and thus you find them trying to escape the attention by hiding their faces in public. The killer is identified by their continuous obsession to hide their identity and not be known by the public. The wealthy are also identified with a lowly look. They would treat people in a shallow manner, according to their clothing, type of car, or they would become judgmental and prejudiced when they attempt to hide themselves by crawling back in the hole they call a car. To be able to hide under constrictions, an individual would show out to be an authority who would lay down foundations for a certain operation or process and then strip themselves of the responsibility to abide by those foundations, leaving behind the grassroots with the base of the structures but not the finished product. They are those who call people to action when no action can be given by the public, and those who speak publicly what they do not say in private. They are those who expose the community to other communities and to their own communities. The people who claim to the sidelines to be doing their best to cause the community to flourish, while in reality they are just spewing lies to inflate themselves. It is crossing the pathway as though they are sucking in the light from everyone else who would believe their promises. It is like those who lead people astray by promising to lead them the right way, when in fact they themselves are lost. When they call people towards a set goal, they promise them what they can never deliver, only to have them absorb more and more inflation with fake praise, fake trust, and faked out behavior. There are many people who see those walking atop the exposed roadway, waving fame off as though they are waving the world goodbye. The people who would spend entire lifetimes reliving the horrible memories of how they got the way they are, what paths they had taken, and which memories were their demise and doom. It is marvelous when imagination plays a role in reasoning. Is it through a story that we can understand the world around us, or is it through allegories driven from actual facts? We can't establish a specific character for a story without having characteristics for the personality that he portrays. When a person hides their identity for a bad that they intend to do, it is unquestionable that this bad they are going to do is actually their demise. The reason why many dead people were not able to leave Earth and ascend to be praised along the way. It was because they are forced to relive the dooming memory for long periods of time. It is like when we are put on a constant steering wheel that keeps turning non-stop without a clear direction of movement. They keep enduring the same pain, of doing the thing that caused their demise, and they would lose their perception of time. It is very similar to having been thrown in hell without having yet merited hell, because the soul had not been judged and is still awaiting the hour to come. If inflation is what their aim is, then they would be living the lives of all those who had died before chasing fame and glory as a sinner. Would it be the case that jinn are the lost? Would it be the case that guidance had already been given to the wealthy and the poor? Would it be the case that sympathy is not a useful feeling? If inflation is what they will have, then leaders who lead people astray can only lead people away by becoming leeches. If stars are born by absorbing other stars' light and power, then such stars are fake stars. It is not the job of a human to judge the stars, but inflated through fame, they would be considered leaders. It may have been the case that knowing less about human consciousness was the default.